From Mamma Mia, welcome to The Spill, your daily pop culture fix. I'm Laura Brodnick, and today we are joined by a very special guest, Tina Burke. Now, Tina Burke, I'm going to let you say your own title because it has come to my attention that you've been complaining around the office that every time you come on this podcast, I introduce you with a different title. So what would you like to be called today?
I'd like to quickly rebuff that because I have certainly not been complaining. There was just a lot of multi-pod confusion.
Yes.
My title is Pop Culture and Social Editor.
Okay,
Yes.
Love that for you.
I love that you are my manager. We've confirmed this on the podcast.
Don't say I'm a manager on here. People just think I'm cool and young and I don't have any responsibilities
She's
outside
so cool
of this.
and fun. She's my inspiration for living. What can I say about Laura Brodnick?
So Tina is here for Weekend Watch, which is a good episode for you to be on because it is one of our favourite of the week because it is the episode where we talk about the best new TV shows and movies that have been released this week, except not in your case today.
No.
because for this guest appearance, I asked you what is the show that you've been obsessed with that you want to tell the spillers about, and it is a show we actually haven't talked about, so I gave special permission for it to be on this week. Also, given the fact that your other timely recommendation was The Princess Bride, which I do believe came out over 30 years ago.
Yeah, I really genuinely and very seriously turned to Laura the other day and she was like, what are your plans? And I was like, I'm going to watch The Princess Bride. And I think she thought I meant I would rewatch it. And I was like, no, for the first time ever, which if you know anything about me, shock horror. I love whimsy. How have I not seen this film before?
And what did you think of it?
I loved it so much.
Yeah, that is the correct response.
I have to say, the reason I hadn't watched it as an adult was that I was scared I wouldn't like it because it's very childish, right? Like it's very like fantastical and whimsical.
Well, it's just a family movie.
And I was worried that if I watched it as an adult, I wouldn't see how great it was. But I did. No, big smiles all around. So I was like, Laura, if you're going to make me do Weekend Watch, I'm going to talk about The Princess Bride. Sorry.
And the only reason I vetoed that as your only response is because we talk about The Princess Bride so much on this podcast. Even though it came out well over 30 years ago, I was like, it's actually a timely recommendation for us. And the spillers have all watched it. Well, wait, where did you watch it if people haven't?
I watched it on Stan.
Okay.
Yes.
So for the 5 people out there.
For the people who have not, like me, who were just like, oh, will I like it or not? Like I knew all the references. I love Carrie Ellis. He's like so hot and beautiful.
Yeah.
Love him dearly. And I was just scared. But if you haven't seen it, I'm here to say, check it out.
The Princess Bride, love. A timely recommendation in case anyone hasn't heard about it. Okay, so what is the new TV show that you are recommending for the people this week?
So I am breaking the rules and I do know the rules of Weekend Watch and take them very seriously. However, I have a very controversial opinion, which is that I love to binge watch. Unlike
Don't bring
Laura.
that energy in here.
I apologize, I do. And so it means that sometimes like I'll hold on to things. So I have just finished season 2 of The Buccaneers on Apple TV.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a fantastic series and I'm here to recommend it.
And look, I did say that was okay. I'm making myself sound like a tyrant. Well. If the shoe fits, if the long pointy shoe fits.
If the shoe fits, lace that up and run.
But as I said to you, I know there's a lot of people out there who don't like to watch things weekly, as I recommend people do. A lot of people like to save shows until they're finished so they can sit down and watch it all in one go and enjoy it, which is what you're thinking people can do with The Buccaneers.
Yes. So if you don't know, it is based on a novel by Edith Wharton. The novel was actually never finished. So it ended up getting finished kind of by the outline that she had planned out.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do know anything about it, there was a 1995 miniseries.
I did not know that.
Yes, and it had like Mina Severo was in it. There was a great cast in it. Yeah, it's really good. It's very fun, very mini-series, very like true to, I guess, the era. Whereas what Apple TV did in 2023 was they brought the Buccaneers back with like a very of the moment adaptation, which means, pop music instead of Regency era kind of music. It's not Regency era, what am I saying? But, instead of like classic music, there's pop music, like outfits that are not time appropriate, silliness all around.
Oh yeah, I see a lot of face glitter I haven't watched this show, by the way, but I see a lot of face glitter. I see a lot of hair adornments. I see a lot of sexy outfits.
A lot of sexy outfits. Like in one episode in season 2, she wore an off-the-shoulder red gown. And you know what? You watch this and you just like suspend. It's just like you're living in a fantasy and that's okay.
That's exactly what I want from a TV show at the moment, so I love that.
And I kind of think if you're into period dramas and you watch it simultaneously with The Gilded Age because they were both dropping around the same time, like one's real, one's not, and that's okay.
That's exactly historical accuracy be damned. I want an off-the-shoulder gown. I want an
Sparkly
off-the-shoulder
eyeshadow.
gown, and I want the girls to be wearing sparkly eyeshadow, face glitter, and sometimes even hair glitter.
And sometimes maybe Chapel Roan should play. I don't know.
Yeah. Yes.
Exactly.
I think the Buccaneer women would have loved Chapel Roan, going out on a limb to say that.
I think they would have. So if you're not familiar with the show, what it is about a bunch of American women who go over to the UK to find husbands when one of their friends has fallen in love with, you know, a fancy British man. So they're sort of American women who are part of like that nouveau riche class. Like so everyone in Britain looks down on them because they're American and they're crass and they're new money. But they actually have money. A lot of these British like people with titles do not have money.
Yes.
So it's a very like there's a lot of exploration of class in society, but it is about the girls coming over to try to also enter society and find husbands. And what ensues is a lot of chaos. So there is a love triangle, which we love. We love to see
a love
triangle. There's a love triangle between the main character, Nan, and her two love interests, Theo and Guy. That's the center of the story, but all of the friends have their own sort of emotional arcs. There are some quite serious themes. So at times it does go into assault, manipulation. There are some marriages that have domestic violence. There are other marriages that are, you know, marriages of convenience. There is a lesbian plot, which very exciting for, you know, a period drama to feature.
That is what is making me want to watch the show because there's a trans actress who has been on a few TV shows I loved who's in this, right?
Yeah, fantastic. And her romantic interest is actually Kate Winslet's daughter.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Mia is fantastic and like she's so much like her mother. So there's all of these great bits where you just notice Kate Winslet's mannerisms coming through. But it's very much just about like the romantic market and being a woman in this time, but kind of set in a modern way. There's not a lot that I can say about season 2 for you guys right now because if you haven't seen season 1, it'll just spoil everything for you. I will say season 1 came out in 2023. Season 2 has come out in 2025 and they do feel like tonally different shows a little bit.
Right.
Like I loved season 2 still, but it did feel at times like a different, like you were like, what's going on?
Right.
Okay. So I will just say that to any spillers who haven't seen it, season 1 feels much more intentional and complete. And season 2, I'm not sure if they were worried about cancellation or if they just wanted to really speed things along. But there was so much packed into season 2 that at times it felt a little bit like in an old school world where we knew we were getting 10 seasons, these plots would have taken place over like years. And instead we've shoved every plot you could into season 2. But I think if you go in knowing it's just like a lighthearted bit of fun, bit of sexiness, you'll have a good time.
Okay. All right. Well, you've sold me on watching it. Apple TV, right?
Apple TV. Okay. Check it out.
Okay, well, I have stuck to the rules this week.
Oh, rule follower.
I'm making myself sound so fun. I swear I'm fun at parties. It's just not
You're
on
really
this podcast.
Cool. I love you a lot.
Thank you. And you're like, you're my boss, but I like you a lot. I made you say
You're my
that.
boss and a nice person.
Okay, let's just talk about me for the rest of the thing, not about any TV shows. Well, I'm switching from that to a show about some very serious topics.
Yes.
So a new drama that has just dropped on Disney Plus this week. It's called The Twisted Tale of Amanda Knox. I'm sure many people know the story of Amanda Knox, who was an American student who went over to study in Italy and was then tried for the murder of her roommate, Meredith Kircher. And there's been so much coverage around this since the event happened many, many years ago. There's been books written about it. There's been documentaries. There's been podcasts. Amanda Knox herself has been speaking about it for years and what it was like coming back to the US and rebuilding her life and everything she's been through since then. So this is a dramatization of her story and it stars Grace Van Patten as Amanda Knox and kind of takes you through from the events when the death occurs, through the trial, through like the public scrutiny of it. It is a really interesting dramatization, especially if anyone who's not across the case and the story watching it, like it's kind of a good entry point into the story. I will just say that like there's always been a lot of back and forth around Amanda Knox and like around how she behaved at the time. Some people thought she wasn't acting appropriately and some people thought that she was guilty, and there's all these questions around it. So I will just say that Amanda Knox is very heavily involved in this series.
Yeah, okay.
She is an executive producer. All the photos of like Grace Van Patten on the red carpet, she's with Amanda Knox. So you just got to watch it from the point of view that yes, it's a dramatization, but it is being told from Amanda Knox's perspective with her input and with her kind of shaping the story. So if you just have that in mind, it's an interesting watch. So the first 2 episodes have dropped now on Disney Plus, and the new episodes will drop weekly. So if you kind of love a bit of true crime with a bit of dramatization around it, then this would be the show for you. And if you are someone who's into true crime through an entertainment lens, we do have a little special something around the show coming up when it ends. Won't say anything more about that now. But yes, The Twisted Tale of Amanda Knox on Disney Plus now. So our other recommendation for this week is a movie that we have been talking about for months. We've been talking about The Stars. It's kind of set to be the biggest comedy of the year. Now, I haven't seen it and you haven't seen it.
Nope.
That's a bit of a miss on our part.
That's a really upsetting miss on our part. I was so excited to see it. And I will be. Front seat in the cinema.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, that's like back seat in the cinema.
Yeah, I'm not front seat.
Yeah,
Sorry, what did you walk in late and couldn't find a seat? That's terrible. Also make sure you go front seat in IMAX.
No.
So we haven't seen it, but the executive producer of The Spill, Monisha, has seen it. She went to the premiere. She had a fun time. And she's here to give us her honest review. Monisha.
I am. I did go to the premiere. I did have a fun time. There were hot dogs.
I love that was your main takeaway from that event. That's important.
That's bougie.
Snacks are important.
Yeah.
They can make or break a premiere.
They really
the hot
can.
dogs where you could control the sauce average. Anyway, I digress.
That is prestige
important.
cinema snacking. I love that.
That is so good. As I said, I did want you to write a whole review or just do a whole review on this podcast that's just about the hot dogs. And at the end you say, well, the Naked Gun's out now, which we can still do if you want.
We'll talk a little about it, but we might circle back to that.
Circle back.
So Naked Gun, I will admit I haven't seen the previous Naked Gun movies. Mm-hmm. Potentially a big gap in my culture knowledge. I have been told off people going, but I did go with people who have seen it and people who haven't seen it. Mm-hmm. And I feel like we all equally had a good time. So I wouldn't say you have to see them. They're calling it a legacy sequel. So it's not like a remake, but it does follow on the story. And he's the son of the original Frank Drebin. And Liam Neeson, Pamela Anderson. I was very excited because of all the red carpet buzz that we've been covering.
Oh yeah, because people think that they are dating, right?
And I hope and pray that they are.
It's so
but I'm not sure.
They haven't said they're dating, but they haven't said they're not dating, and they've been canoodling is the only word for it on red carpet.
But that's so in keeping with like the vibe of Naked Gun too. Yeah. So it's like, ooh, what's happening?
Exactly.
I love it.
Did you think watching them that they're together? Did you get the vibe from Scream?
Give us there's something going on. Like there's really great chemistry. I also feel like they're fueling the rumors, but then also when people ask them about it, they're like, I'm so disappointed.
I love when we keep rumors going on this podcast. We'll start them, so that's great.
Exactly. I actually, maybe because of coming off all that red carpet buzz, I thought it needed more Pamela Anderson. I think this movie needed more. The moments she was in were great. Obviously, that love interest role was played by Priscilla Presley in the original trilogy. I thought she was great in it. I really enjoyed it. I don't want to spoil too much. There's a great singing bit that she's in.
Love that.
She really captured that kind of like old world style, but then it was also contemporary. So I really enjoyed her in it, but I think she needed to be in it more.
Yeah, I wonder if they're like, because she's coming off this buzz of like she's come back as now like a proper actress. Because for a long time she was just seen as a pinup girl and a sex symbol. She didn't get any work for many, many years. And then with The Last Showgirl, which she probably should have got an Oscar nomination for after watching that movie was my thought on that. Yeah. But she was seen for the first time as a proper critically acclaimed actress. And then she's come into this like leading comedy role, which is a really good like jumping point from being, it's like she can now do comedy, she can do drama, she can do everything. Love that for her.
And I think speaking of that, it was so great seeing Liam Neeson in a comedy role because I've seen him in so many serious things. The comedy in this is so slapstick. It's so like, it's like a dad joke wrapped up into a movie. It's an absurdist play. That's what it is. It's like banana peel humor, physical comedy. And it's so funny seeing him in a role like that. But I will say the silly goose factor is high. Like you've got to be in a silly mood. You've got to go with your silly friends. Yeah. And you've got to be not like, oh, let me follow this plot. You've got to like, I'm going to dissociate into this absurdist world. Yeah.
I love when Liam does comedy because he does it like often, like when he's like in the Ted movies or something like that, when he plays it really, he plays that stern character we know from Taken, but as a comedy role.
Yeah, like Derry Girls is one of my favorite appearances of his because like, again, he was playing someone super, super serious, but in the most ridiculous environment. And that's when I think he's a bit of fun. I love that guy.
He's a funny guy.
Yeah.
So for people who don't know is anything, what is the Naked Gun? What is the plot in like one or two sentences?
It's potentially the hardest plot to ever summarize.
You're like, that's actually the worst thing you could ask. Thank you.
I was a bit stressed about you asking that, but basically,
I didn't know.
Funnily enough, there's this device called the like PLOT device, so plot device that goes missing. And basically there's a suspicious death of an engineer and they're trying to piece it all together. And the sister of the engineer, Pamela Anderson, she gets involved. She obviously wants to get to the bottom of it. So she comes on this journey with them. And one thing that I will say stood out to me because I know a little bit about the previous movies, even not having seen them. But this one I feel like is for the girls. There's very interesting, like, female-centric pop culture references throughout, which I don't believe played a big role in the previous ones. I think they were a bit more macho. So I don't want to spoil the references because I think that's half the delight of seeing the movie. But some of them you would really enjoy, Laura, and I think you would too.
Okay.
So you guys got
I know you both so well.
movie.
Okay, I love that. So The Naked Gun in cinemas now. Don't sit in the front row. But apart from that,
But get a hot dog.
But
Yeah,
go
get a hot
get
dog.
a hot dog. Enjoy.
Oh, you did bring it back to the hot dog. Love that.
Circled back. Get your hot dog, get front row. It came out yesterday, so yeah, recommend.
Oh, I can't wait to watch that.